Hello students, I hope you all are good. Now today my topic is mechanics. I have started the topic because some of my friends and some of my students are requesting me to uploading the topic. Okay, so I have started that, and today I will enter the chapter one dimension motion, and please stay tuned and enjoy this full video. Okay. Now I have chosen the two parts of one dimension motion. In this part I will discuss about the theory, and in the other part I will discuss about the numerical problem. So let's start. So before starting the topic one dimension motion, we have to learn what is dimension. Okay, dimension means, look up it. This is a point. Okay, this is a point. And the point defines the zero dimension. Okay, there is no length of the point and no height, no width of the point, and this is called as the zero dimension. And if I took two zero dimension and join them, then I will get the one dimension. Okay, now similarly, if we take two one dimension perpendicular to each other, then what I will get? I will get the two dimension. Similarly, if we have the three one dimension, then I will get the three dimension. So don't get so hazy about that dimension. I have to choose here the one dimension. Okay, these all dimensions which are named as x-axis, this is named as y-axis. Okay, this is only x-axis, and this is x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Okay, these dimensions and this point is named as xy, and here the point is xyz. Okay, they are Cartesian coordinates. Now I will discuss about the polar coordinate system. Okay, this is simply a point P, and this is Cartesian coordinate x and y. Okay, the P has crossed x distance from the y-axis and y distance from the x-axis. So this point is named as xy. Now I will also can express the point by r theta. Okay, what is r theta? Now this distance from origin to the point is called the r, and the tangent which is the tangent which is about the positive x-axis, the tangent about the positive x-axis, and the angle is theta. Okay, so this is theta and this is r. This presentation of the coordinate system is named as the polar coordinate system. Now let's take a look about the differentiation. The 12th standard students already knows what is differentiation, but for 11th standard students I would discuss about in simple matter. Okay, let y equals to function of x. Now in the Cartesian coordinate system, xy axis this is, and this is the origin. Now this is the curve y equals to fx. Okay, now that point, this is x, this is fx. Okay, now for the increment of x plus delta x, let this is x plus delta x, that point, and that point is delta y. Sorry. And for this increment x plus delta x, there is an increment about the y-axis. So here the increment of delta x, and here the increment of y, and let's term it as delta y. So the increment of y with respect to the x is delta y by delta x. Okay. If delta x tends to 0, very very close to 0, then I can write it as dy by dx. Okay. Now, if delta x increases and delta y also increases, then this is positive. And for the increment of delta x, if delta y decreases, then this is negative. That's all. Let's start. What is integration? Like previous case, 12 student has already know what is integration, but for 11 student I have to tell them what is integration. Let's take a small view of integration. Okay. If y equals to fx is a function, okay, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is origin, okay, and the function look like that. Okay, this is y equals to fx function, and I have to determine the area of that part. Okay, this is x equals to a, let, and this is x equals to b. Okay, so that point will be f of a, obviously y equals to fx, and that point will be f of b. Okay, this height is f of b and this height is f of a, and this is x is this point x equals to b, and at this point x equals to a. Okay, now if we ask to determine that area, do you can? This is not a rectangle fully. Okay, there is this portion. How you will get that portion? Because there is no algebraic rule for that. So what will I have to do? That from origin x, okay, this point is x. Okay, so I will have a corresponding fx. Okay, fx, but if we increase x to x plus delta x. Okay, so this is delta x, and so this point is delta x. Okay, and okay, this is delta x. Now it closely looks like a rectangle. If we take delta x too close, then it looks like a rectangle. So I have the rule of determining the area of rectangle. What is this? Length and width. Okay, so let's write here fx into delta x. So cause this is fx and this is delta x, this is length and this is width. Okay, so I have write here fx into delta x, and what I have to choose the area between x is equals to a to x is equals to b. Now the integration sign here, x equals to a to x equals to b. So by this method I will have the total area of that curve. Okay, and this is the use of integration, and the other properties of integration I will write here. Please note. In this chapter, you will be introduced about some physical quantities related with motion. What is this? Now first come to what is displacement. Okay, let a point is here. Okay, and it will go here. So what is the displacement of the point? The displacement of the point is the previous here to here. This is the displacement of the point. The primary position and the last position or final position. The difference between the final position and the primary position is called the displacement, and the displacement is a vector quantity, so it will always have a vector sign, and this vector sign is directed towards the final position. Introduce two physical quantities, that is speed and velocity. Okay, so let a point here and crosses this path and finally reaches here. So what is the displacement of the point? Let this is A and this is point B. So obviously the displacement is AB. Okay, but the total distance covered by the point is the whole path of that. Okay, so if you have you have to derive the speed of the point, then it will be the length of the whole path. Okay, length of the whole path divided by the total time taken to reach here. That is called the speed. Okay, that is called the speed, and this is a scalar quantity. This has no direction. And if you have to derive what is the velocity of the point, then it will be the displacement okay, that is AB by total time, which is called velocity. So let's introduce the factor which is instantaneous velocity. Let at time t a particle goes the distance x. Okay, so the velocity will be x by t. Let after t, delta t time, the particle has crossed x plus delta x distance more. Okay, so the instantaneous velocity will be delta x by delta t. Okay, and if the delta t tends to 0, then I can write here this is as dx by dt. So this is the velocity. Here I will introduce about the term what is acceleration and what is deceleration. Okay, so what is acceleration? At time t1, let my velocity is v1. I am riding a car, and at velocity at time t2, which is greater than t1, my velocity is v2. If v2 is greater than v1, then my car is accelerated, and the acceleration is defined as the final velocity minus the previous velocity by time difference t2 minus t1. Okay, this is acceleration. And if at the case of deceleration, if v2 less than v1, okay, then the deceleration, let termed as a dashed, okay, is defined as v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1, and this is a negative quantity because you can see that v2 is less than v1, so obviously it is negative. Now let's talk about what is instantaneous acceleration or deceleration. Okay, let at time t, my car's velocity was v, and after a time delta t, okay, my car's velocity has increased up and has become v plus delta v. So the acceleration is defined as what? The increasement of the increase in velocity by time difference. Okay, so here it will be delta v upon delta t. Okay, if delta t tends to 0, then the acceleration is what? Equals to dv by dt. Okay, and I have already discussed that v equals to dx by dt. So a equals to d2x by dt2, which is the double derivative of the displacement. Okay, so students, I will discuss about some fundamental rules in this chapter. So let's start. we have already know A equals to dv by dt. Okay, now so I have found dv equals to A into dt. Okay, let's integrate it. So let at t equals to 0, the velocity was u, and t equals to t, the velocity is v. So v minus u equals to A. Okay, so v equals to u plus A. Let's found another rule. V equals to ds upon dt, or ds equals to v into dt. V equals to u plus at into dt. Now the acceleration is not dependent upon the time, and u is always a constant, because u is the first velocity or previous velocity, primary velocity. So u is obviously constant. So at t equals to 0, this displacement was 0, and t equals to t, the displacement is s. Okay, so s equals to ut plus half a t square. Now the third one, A equals to dv by dt, or dv by ds into ds upon dt. Okay, or ds dt v equals to v into dv into ds. Okay, or A ds integrating that. Okay, so at primary condition, at t is equals to 0, the velocity was u and the displacement was 0, and t equals to t, the velocity is v and the displacement is s. Okay, so I get here as equals to half of v square minus u square. Use the integration formula, so v square equals to u square plus 2as. Here I will enter the topic about the graphs. Okay, here I introduce some equations of straight lines, that is 1, y equals to mx, 2, y equals to mx plus c, third one, y is equals to c minus mx. Okay, I have to introduce it. Let's draw the graphs. Now for the first straight line, y equals to mx, m is obviously a constant and it is termed as the tangent of the graph. So what about m? Let m equals to half. Okay, so if x is equals to 2, then y equals to 1. Okay, then if x is equals to 4, then y equals to 2. So I have the point here 2, 1. I point the here point have 4, 2, then 6, 3, and so on. So if I join all these points and x equals to 0, y equals to 0, then I have the straight line. Similarly, in other coordinates, it will go here. So the second graph, y equals to mx plus c. Let here m equals to 1, okay, and c equals to 2. They are constants, so I have y equals to x plus 2. If x is equals to 0, y equals to 2. So at the first point I have 0, 2. Okay. If x is equals to 1, y equals to 3. 1 and this is 3. 1, 3. If x is equals to 2, then I have the 4. 2, 4, and so on. If I join all these lines, then I will get the line and back. Okay. The third straight line, which is let m equals to 1 and c equals to 3. Okay. So at x is equals to 0, y equals to 3. right here, 0, 3. At x is equals to 1, y is equals to 1 plus 3, that means 4. So, sorry, 3 minus 1, that is 2. Okay, this is 1, this is 2. Select here. And if x is equals to 2, then y equals to 3 minus 2, that is 1. Okay. So the graph will decrease in this one. So this is y equals to c minus mx. Here I introduce some the equations of curves. That is, if x square plus y square equals to a square, the curve will look like that. A circle. If y square equals to 4ax, then the curve will look like the parabola. If x square equals to 4ay, then this parabola. Okay. And if x square by a square plus y square by b square equals to 1, and obviously a square greater than b square, then the curve looks like the ellipse. And here the equations of some curves that will help you in this chapter. If students, if you are interested about the graphs and how to draw a graph, then please tell me. Okay, this is another curve. Okay, this is the curve of y equals to ax plus bx square, and this is the curve of y equals to ax minus bx square. And let's friends talk about some cases of the velocity time graph or displacement time graph at different conditions. Okay, let's take a look about the ST graph, that is the time and displacement graph. Okay, I have already shown that if the particle is moving with velocity constant, that is the constant velocity, then I have the formula what is s equals to vt. Okay, what it looks like y equals to mx. Okay, I have already discussed about y equals to mx, so the graph will look like that. Okay, if the particle is going with constant acceleration, that is s equals to ut plus half at square, then what it will look like? It looks like that y equals to ax plus bx square. Okay, so I have the curve like that. If this is not acceleration, it is the acceleration, then it will be y equals to x minus bx square. Then the graph will be like. So what will be the velocity time graph at the constant velocity? Okay, the particle is moving with constant velocity, then the graph looks like that. This straight line is parallel to the time axis. Okay, whatever the time will be, the velocity obviously constant. Let name it as c. Okay, there is no change. Now if the particle is accelerating, okay, so the velocity equation v equals to u plus at, but it looks like y equals to mx plus c. Okay, mx plus c, so it will be like that. Okay, if the velocity, if the particle is deaccelerating, that is v equals to u minus at, then it looks like y equals to c minus mx. Okay, now the hello students, I hope you enjoy this all video. If so, then please like, okay, and share with your friends and give your feedback in this comment section. And sorry for the late update. Okay, and please stay connected with us because the numerical section problem video is coming soon. Okay, there will be no late update, I promise you. And stay connected with us, support us and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.